was the blonde woman being partnered with black men so pushed? It almost seemed like an in your face video. You are so weak, your own women reject you. Was this meant to be this way? Luke?
Yeah, well, think about why are women paired with Ron Jeremy? Or why in some films are women paired with dogs or horses? You're trying, the pornographer only makes money if he appeals to enough people's love maps, meaning that their particular scenario or trail towards erotic excitement. So the men who spend time with pornography, who spend money on pornography, are not people who can take porn or leave porn. They're people who fail at real life, and therefore they want to exercise their demons through the consumption of pornography. So they're not, generally speaking, happy, well-adjusted men. They're men who fear and hate women. And so if you fear and hate women, what's more exciting to you? To see a woman with, a great-looking guy of the same race, or is it more exciting to see a woman with someone of a member of a group that is very low in social status, or to see a woman with Ron Jeremy? Like, of course, if you hate women, you are going to be amazed and delighted to see some 18-year-old girl having to have sex with some 280-pound, Ron Jeremy 50-year-old, dude. It's like the height of humiliation. And the whole reason you're going to be watching porn is because you desire vicariously to humiliate women, so that you can get back at all the humiliation that you feel that they have delivered to you. And now there's this widespread notion that is also in the chat. We did not evolve to be gullible. We did not evolve in a way whereby the oligarchs can just reprogram the great masses, right? The news media and Hollywood have always been left of center, and yet the country still elected Donald Trump. Virtually all our elites were opposed to Donald Trump, and yet the country still elected him. We are not evolved to be gullible. If we evolved to be gullible, we wouldn't be here. So this idea that the elite and the oligarchs and the mainstream media and the pornographers and the people in the music industry can just reprogram us by pushing these messages, and people are so low agency that they're just going to go along with these messages and think that it's a great idea to be with someone outside of their group. It's just not true. People still elect Republicans, even though the news media almost uniformly portrays Republicans as dopes. And people, if you want to learn more about it, read an excellent book called Not Born Yesterday, The Science of Who We Trust and What We Believe. So we are not being reprogrammed by fake news. We're not being reprogrammed by pornographers. Okay, we fundamentally don't give away our choices in these matters to media messages. Now, I'm not saying that media messages have zero effect. They have an effect on the margins. But let's just take a book like Mein Kampf didn't change any minds in Germany. Okay, you didn't find people who loved Jews pick up Mein Kampf and start hating Jews. That didn't happen. Okay, who was Hitler popular with? Hitler was popular with groups who benefited from his policies. Hitler was unpopular with groups that suffered from his policies. So this book didn't change minds. All right, there's this absurd notion that many of our elites have, that the New York Times has, the mainstream media has, that's best summarized as the zombie bite theory of information. That if people just say watch a porn video where some blonde girl is sucking off some black guy, that it's just going to bite them like a zombie, and then they're going to be turned into automatons, and they're just going to think that interracial sex is the hottest, greatest thing ever, and then they'll go out and marry someone of the opposite race. It doesn't happen. People don't watch a YouTube video and get radicalized and then turn into alt-right zombies. People don't pick up the New York Times, get zapped by this left-wing perspective, and then turn into a left-wing automaton. There's no information that zaps people and removes their power of choice. We're not evolved to be gullible. We're evolved to make pretty good decisions about things that are of vital interest to us. Now, people's opinions say on whether or not Jesus of Nazareth is the Christ and God. Okay, these kind of abstract questions, we don't really reflect on gullibility, because it makes no statistical difference to people's lives whether or not they accept Jesus as their personal savior. It makes no automatic difference to their politics, to the way they conduct business, to the way they make a family. There's no discernible connection between these sort of abstract beliefs and people's real life actions. But this widespread idea, whether it's on the right or the left, whether it's in the New York Times or on Mike Enoch's channel, or that crowd, that information can just turn people into zombies. It's nonsense. It's absurd. People don't work that way. We did not evolve to be gullible. All right, we wouldn't be here if we evolved to be so gullible, so susceptible to these kinds of messages. If the elites and the mainstream media had this kind of power, Donald Trump would never have been elected president. George W. Bush would not have been elected president twice. Ronald Reagan would not have been elected president twice. Richard Nixon would not have been elected president twice if the elites and the mainstream media had the power that is so commonly ascribed to them. Don't accept this ridiculous zombie bite theory of information.
There are a lot of young guys out there who consider themselves to be traditionalists. They do not dislike the West. They are definitely not elite, and they want to have kids in a traditional patriarchal model in order to essentially perpetuate the finest traditions of society as they see them. But at the same time, they see that things have changed since, say, their grandparents or even their parents tried to do the same. Mind you, a lot of these kids are probably the products of broken homes, divorced households,